Welcome to the Orange Hammer Podcast. My name is Corbett Storick. I've been a licensed general contractor for 8+ years, specializing in new construction, renovation, furniture building. I'm the son of an architect and an interior designer, and I've been surrounded in this industry since birth, watching all aspects from concept, design, build, punch list, and of course, all the problems that come up in between. In my time in Durham, North Carolina, I've noticed a significant gap in knowledge between homeowners who need work and the people who do the work. On this podcast, I hope to break down the process of homeownership from the perspective of both the homeowner and the contractor in an effort to help raise the knowledge of homeowners about their homes and the construction/renovation process. I hope you enjoy. If you're enjoying the Orange Hammer Podcast, or if you have a topic that you want covered, or have recently done a project, please contact the Orange Hammer Podcast. The Orange Hammer Podcast is on Instagram and Facebook. Please like and subscribe, share on whatever platform you're enjoying your podcast on. Also, check out our YouTube channel, The Orange Hammer. The Orange Hammer Podcast is proud to be brought to you by CRS Contracting, LLC, for all your construction and handyman needs, new buildings to renovations, furniture building, EV charger install, or even a TV mounted. You can call me, Corbett Storick. It'd be my pleasure to help you. You can find me on Instagram at CRS Contracting. WSDG, the Walter Storick Design Group, specialists in architectural and acoustical consulting. Check out WSDG.com. And Taylor Bragg, for all your artistic needs in all mediums. You can find her on Instagram at brag_about_art. That's brag, BRGG, with 2 G's. She's the fantastic artist behind the Orange Hammer logo, and she did my fantastic table painting of my podcasting table. My guest today, Natasha H., living in Cary, North Carolina, a one-time homeowner, an avid runner, owner of 2 adorable cats, and currently working in apartment management. Natasha, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on today.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate your time. So, what time in your life were you a one-time homeowner?
I bought my first home in October of 2019.
Okay, so relatively recent, but still a couple of years ago before some relatively big things that happened in the world.
Yeah, the market's definitely been shifting a lot.
Yeah. So obviously you were a first-time home buyer.
That was my first.
Okay. So what was that process like? Where was that? Was that also in Cary?
So the home I bought was in Apex, but we were shopping kind of all around the Triangle area, Raleigh, Cary, Apex.
Gotcha.
You know, the town wasn't specific for us, just looking for the right house. And it was definitely an interesting process. Okay.
So you just like were able to, in your personal life, figure out your parameters, and then did you have a realtor?
We did, yeah. Okay. So we worked with a local realtor, and they're essential for guiding you through the process.
How did you find that realtor?
It was actually just a family friend.
Okay.
So and that's actually how we found most of our realtors.
Gotcha. Through your network. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a common thread. We're still early in the podcast, and like networking and who just seems to be a massive recurring theme.
Always. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of agencies that you could, Google really easily, but you don't know who you're working with or what their goals are. And different realtors will also work in different ways. So some realtors just do like a flat fee, no matter what the cost of the home is. And then some realtors have different percentages of fees based on the value of the home that they're selling. So, that also will determine if you're essentially getting a buyer's agent or a seller's agent,
right?
So you need to kind of do the research on that and figure out which one's going to be best for you overall, cost wise.
Gotcha. And so family friend obviously, alleviates a lot of the worry, but did you do any like further, I guess, like research on her as a realtor or him or her? Her on her for as a realtor, or was family friend enough and you were just like, let's rock?
This was family friend. We knew her through my mom, so it was kind of like a trusted source. And my mom had worked with her before in kind of different avenues.
Gotcha.
So
and what'd your mom do?
I could think she's a banker.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, banker, work in real estate. That's a interlinking. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yep.
So, and okay. So that's perfectly leads to another point. Did she then lead you to somebody in the financial world, or did you already have somebody who was going to help you with the mortgage side of things?
So based on, what we had in order, cash flow wise to buy a home, she led us to like an FHA loan. So it's just a first time home buyer's loan. It doesn't require a lot of cash down because especially in this day and age, not everybody has $50,000 sitting there ready to go for a down payment, know? And so for us, that basically capped it at 3%. And we were just able to have that to put as a down payment. And it just helped being first time home buyers and still being relatively young. We're still in our 20s.
So you didn't necessarily even need a whole like third party bank. She just kind of led you through, what was it, like a website, or she just had an application process that she kind of guided you through?
Yeah. So actually it went through, I think it was Atlantic Mortgage. And they just wound up, leading us through the process. And the first thing you do is get pre-approved. So they'll pre-approve you for amount, and then you know what amount you can shop for. So you get pre-approved for the loan, and so that won't lock in your rate or anything like that, but it pre-approves you for a certain amount. So if you apply for, let's say, a $500,000 loan, they'll either, pre-approve you or you'll apply for a different amount. And that way, okay, the cap of what I'm looking at to spend is going to be $500,000, or we have up to $500,000 to spend.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty clear. But more my question was like, did she like lead you to, you said Atlantic Mortgage was the name of the company?
Yes. Yeah. So she gave us the contact.
Okay.
Because she knew that they would be good for that specific type of
as a
loan.
third party were like, we can help you through this.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Because for a second, I thought you were saying like that your realtor was like, I just have this application for a first time homeowner's loan and it's not that big a deal. And I was like, oh, really? Well, that's super cool. Because most of the time I've heard of realtor being like, well, I've got 6 people who can work with a loan depending on your circumstance. And everybody has a different circumstance. And, whether you work for somebody or if you're, self-employed, whatever it may be. So, okay. So you led to that third party. They work you through that. Obviously you get whatever amount, you start hunting. And so, what kind of house do you end up buying?
You know what? We bought a really beautiful, just kind of in a subdivision. So kind of minimal HOA, but still, in a subdivision that has a pool and I think it was like $140 like quarterly HOA dues. So it's not anything too bad.
Okay.
But it was a 2-story, 4-bed, 3-bath home. So it was really nice, had a nice like screen-in porch and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
It was nice. In 2019, that was $325,000. And now I think Zillow will tell you it's like $565,000.
Wow.
So the market has done some crazy things.
Yeah, the market has and continues to do some crazy things. How was the process from, how was the showing process? How many houses did you look at?
We probably looked at half a dozen.
Okay, so not that many.
We really just kind of wound up lucking out with this one. And I feel like that's what is essentially going to happen for everybody at some point. So in the process, especially in this market and how it was in 2019, everything is immensely competitive. You basically have to, if you find the one that you really want based on the pictures and the descriptions and everything, you basically just have to beg for a pre-showing, or be the first one at 8 a.m. the day that it goes on the market and put your offer in. Yeah. You can't, if you dilly-dally on it, somebody's going to snap it up.
And so did you do exactly what you just said?
Yep.
Okay. So you find one, does your realtor find it, or do you find it on Zillow first, or does she send you an MLS and you're like, we got to be there tomorrow at 8:01?
These days, I feel like it's a combination.
No, I mean, what was it like for that particular, for your
this
particular
one,
buying?
she sent to us.
Okay.
She sent to us. So we had found some on Zillow as well that we asked her about. And sometimes you send them something on Zillow and they'll think of the one thing that you were just like, I never even saw that. So I remember one of the houses that we sent her on Zillow, she came back immediately. She said, no garage. It's going to hurt your resale value. And I was like, I didn't even think about it.
Right. Or you see it on Zillow. Yeah. Or you see it on Zillow and she looks on the MLS and she's like, they have 7 offers all over asking. So we're not like, do you want to get into this bidding war? Or like, and you're like, absolutely not. So like,
exactly.
Next. Yeah.
Yeah. Or they can also see agent notes that you can't see on the MLS, the civilian side, basically.
Yeah. So Did you tour it the same day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And even that, like, tour, offer, same day.
Offer same day.
Yep.
At asking or above?
So it was listed for $319 and we gave $325 because it was one that we knew was going to go above. So we got, just enough above to be the competitive ones.
Okay. So was there any like other people and you had to go back and forth, or was it accepted immediately?
That one we got accepted immediately.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And about how long did it take to close? Did you do all like inspections and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I don't think I would ever buy a house without the inspections.
No.
But yeah, the inspections came through as well. There was kind of a negotiating period for some small things that were issues in the house, and that we were either asking for to get fixed, or they would take some off the closing costs.
How old was the house?
Oh,
like approximately.
It was less than 10 years old.
Okay, so it was a relatively new.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you're still on original roof, first air conditioner, all that kind of good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And then so closing and moving and the house was good and
Yeah. Fabulous.
Gotcha. Okay. And so did you have or you didn't have to go through the sale process for that particular house? You didn't end up selling it?
No, we didn't.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And so fast forward, different time in your life, whatever. You're now on the house hunt again, right?
I am, yes.
Okay. So that was what you said, it was 2019?
It was, yep.
Okay. So here we are in 2020. What is it? Wow. 2022. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So you would think that only not that many years later in relatively, same vicinity, you would think not that much has changed, but that would not be the case.
No.
It's a jungle.
It is, and honestly, the housing market, even compared to about 4 months ago, is completely different. So, I mean, in this area, we just had this huge bubble. Like I said, that house that 3 years ago was $325 is now upwards of $550. And that's the story for pretty much every house. We were not like the lucky ones.
Right.
But now, you're looking at these home values, and, there's this meme that I saw of like this like little kitty house that, there's like the yellow one with the blue roof that everybody had in their backyard. And it's like listed on Zillow for $500,000. And it's honestly not that much of a joke.
Yeah. It's in a year, it will be like accurate.
Yes.
Yeah. So are you using the same realtor?
No, using a different realtor this time.
Why the switch?
My fiance actually has a realtor that's like through his work. So
okay.
It's kind of a nice, easy jump there. And
does he work in the industry? You said through his work, or do they just have a realtor?
They just have a realtor. Yeah. So he works for a tech company here. Okay. So I guess they also relocate people all the time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It kind of behooves them to have a realtor.
That's pretty cool, actually. I would have never thought of that, but as you say it, I'm like, why wouldn't a tech company that wants to headhunt and bring people have a realtor where they can be like, we have somebody already set up. What kind of place do you want to live in?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so no bad blood. She did a good job for you. You just have a new fiance, and the fiance is has another connection, so you're just going with that connection.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, and what kind of house are you looking for?
It's been interesting. So we're looking for something with some acreage, which in this area is just not really feasible.
Exist.
So we're kind of we're having to go a little outside the triangle, which is fine. But we're learning a lot about all the neighboring towns and little townships that are around here. So like everybody knows Wake Forest, but you might not know Youngsville or Franklinton or those other little teeny tiny places. So we're kind of learning as we go.
Yeah, like most people know Hillsborough, but not a lot of people know Hurdle Mills. That's where I was lucky enough to find a little parcel of land. And so when you say a little acreage, what do you mean? How many acres are we talking about? 1, 12, 40?
No, looking for like a minimum of 5.
Minimum of 5. Okay.
But it's that even that's hard to find.
And is that just because, I mean, I bought 11, so I'm like, I love land. I'm just curious as to why, because you said you were in a house in a development, very different. Like I'm assuming that had like a quarter acre or a half acre, like not much. A lot. Yeah, a tiny little patch of grass. Yeah, little boxes on the hill. Yeah. So is it just like change of life, or do you have, plans for a little hobby farm, or you just like the privacy, or just out of curiosity?
I think it's a combination of the privacy factor, and he also likes to shoot, so we just need a certain amount of feet between us and any neighbors.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's definitely a good thing. Yeah, I want to make sure that's nice and safe.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. Okay, so to switch gears a little bit, you work in apartment management.
I
So
do.
obviously, a construction podcast is not like a tremendous amount. I mean, we could talk a little bit about like the repairs side, but more interesting to me, like you see a lot, if not all, the people in what would maybe not occur to be a crucial step in life, but is a pretty crucial step usually before they're going to buy a house, because you're in like, not like, it's some insane luxury condo, 25, story, whatever, but you're in like a nice condo or a nice apartment, association. That's like the step usually for people who,
Yeah.
Going to a home. So does that weigh on, does that, I don't know, does that weigh on you at all? Is that cool? Like, I don't know. To me, that seems very interesting. Do you like have any, like, do you help anybody after they're in your apartment complex with like finding a realtor or moving on to their house?
So that's kind of like a dichotomy thing. So for us, like we are in the business of renting, and so selling is one thing that we don't do. And I mean, we love it when people find homes, just because we are also in the business of like building people's homes and providing that, so we appreciate that for them, but not something that we typically help with.
Because probably at the end of the day, from like a financial perspective, like you've got to lose a renter. Now you've got to repaint and like go hunt for a new person.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So on a personal level, we'll be very happy for them, but on a business level,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, lastly, I guess I forgot to ask, when you bought that first house, or I guess only house, I should say, did you do any work to it, either like by yourselves, or did you hire some people to do any work to it?
We lucked out and we just had a move-in ready home. So, any of the things that we really had to do were pretty much cosmetic. Some of the things that we did were switching out the cabinets in the garage.
Okay.
So I think they took like the previous kitchen cabinets that were maybe like original, and they remodeled at some point, and they just took those old kitchen cabinets
and like
made them in the
repurposed
garage.
them.
Yeah. But it wasn't really a good fit, and it made the garage too small to park a car in.
Right.
And so we got some different cabinets and, took some of that space back so that we could park a car.
Gotcha. Okay. And did you do that yourself, just like with a sledgehammer, or did you have to hire somebody to do that?
We did that.
You just did that?
Yep.
There you go.
Because the cabinets were already built, so, and we didn't care about saving the cabinets that we were taking out. So that was a sledgehammer, and then the cabinets that were installed were pretty easy. So
Gotcha.
It was a nice little DIY.
There you go. Gotcha. And I guess you haven't gotten the new house yet, so I can't ask you about that home buying experience, or
Not quite.
what
That's
you're,
episode 2.
Episode 2. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully we'll bring you back for episode 2 when you find the house and if you do some work to it. But I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. All right. Bye, everybody.